Hi everyone, I'm Mike, and this is For the Record. Welcome to the swamp. Well, finally getting to the album review for the Rolling Stones Hackney Diamonds. Um, yeah, this is gonna be interesting. I haven't done an album review. I can't remember the last one I've done, but this one I'll kind of tell you my personal opinions by I'm gonna have more than one opinion, so opinions. Uh, um, so actually, what I like to start out with is I don't know if anybody out there drinks wine, but I like a fine wine, and I just want to show you a wine, and maybe I might do this in other videos. I'll show some wines that I'm drinking or beers that I'm drinking, if anybody is interested. I highly recommend this particular wine here, but it's funny because for years now I've been saying I'm not a red wine guy. I'm not a red wine drinker. I don't like red wine. But I find myself drinking more, and a coworker or somebody might recommend, hey Mike, you got to try this. I just had somebody a couple of days ago, a coworker of mine, you got to try this. You got to try this wine. And I'm like, okay, sure. And I literally bought it the same day he told me. And I was kind of lucky because the liquor store that is next to me, it's a very small one, so they don't really sell a lot of stuff, but they had this particular one. This is part of the Josh Cellars. This is sort of it's a, it's sort of, I guess you could look at it as sort of like the best of Josh, like some of the best of Josh Cellars. I'm sure there are others, but this one is not your standard Josh Cellars. It's a vintage 2020 Josh Reserve. It's a reserve right there. It's a Cabernet. It's they age it in bourbon barrel. If you know one thing, if you drink wine and you want to try this one, what I recommend doing is, well, first off, right out of the bottle, it tastes absolutely stunning. It's very good. You can kind of taste the smoky char of the barrel, but it's not overwhelming at all. If you don't like that, if you open it up and let it breathe, open the bottle, just let it sit there for a half an hour or an hour, pour it into a glass and let it sit there for a half an hour to an hour, and just let it breathe. It's a completely different drink. Different wine. So I recommend opening it, trying it out freshly opened, but also try it after it's been breathing for a while. It'll taste like two completely different wines. But yeah, Josh Cellars, Josh Reserve Cabernet. It's not expensive, but it's very good, very good wine. So, back to the album review. I've got my friend down here. She's wants to be on the camera, but she's laying down, biting my feet. Okay. Alrighty. So, what do we have here? Well, first, I'm going to start off by saying, I think that I'm going to start off with, when I look at an album, I look at the presentation. And I bought this album not listening to any reviews, not listening to any tracks whatsoever. I wanted to go into this like old school. Like, you heard an album was coming out from one of your favorite bands, you went to the store and you bought it. Like, I'm talking prior to the internet and pre-streaming. Maybe a buddy of yours had it and you could listen to it and decide. But for all intents and purposes, I went into this blinded. What were my expectations? What were my expectations for the Rolling Stones Hackney Diamonds? I had zero expectations. I had nada. I had zero expectations. Because I think when you have expectations, you expect something. You know what I mean? So I just as I started listening to this, it was like, okay, this is good. It wasn't Well, let me get into the presentation first. I'm sorry, going off on a tangent here. So, first off, I love the material that was used. It's very... All right, Ginger. Come here. I know. All right. So the album is great. I love the fact that... All right, sit down. I love the fact they decided to do a gatefold. They didn't have to. Okay. They didn't have to do a gatefold, but they did. And I like the material they used. It's very glossy. It's very smooth. I like the cover. There's nothing about it I don't like. I like the fact that it's sealed on this end, but it's open on this end. Now, one thing that not many artists do this. But the Eagles have done this in the past. Okay, so you have a wonderful presentation on the album. It came with an inner sleeve. Okay, this is an actual inner sleeve. It's not just liner notes. Okay, it's an actual inner sleeve, but they stepped it up to notch like the Eagles did recently on one of their albums. They have it in a poly-lined paper sleeve. I normally take paper sleeves and toss them and use my standard inner sleeve that I use from Invest in Vinyl because it's best inner sleeve for the price. But this is absolutely fine. I'm okay with the paper. I'm okay with because it's poly-lined. That's just great. I really like the fact that they went above and beyond and with the presentation and the pressing. Now this pressing was in the Czech Republic. Okay, it was pressed in the Czech, and that probably explains a few things. And this is that's the back sticker that was on the back, and then the front right here that says the first original studio album since 2005. Okay. The pressing is great. It sounds absolutely stunning. Is it digitally sourced? I don't care. It doesn't say it wasn't, so it probably was. I don't care. It sounds great. It was a great pressing. A lot of times when I get these albums, a lot of times there's something wrong with it. They're scratched up, or there's dust all over them, or there's just something wrong with it. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've ordered an album and it was warped. This one came in 100% perfect and mint all around. Okay? I want to look at my notes and make sure I'm not missing anything, because I'm going to go on to stuff I didn't like and I'm going to question. Yeah, all that great stuff. Inner sleeve, extra inner sleeve, poly-lined paper sleeve. I like that. They know what the collectors want. Okay, and I can't remember exactly how much I paid for this, but I paid average price on Amazon. You know what I mean? Let's see here. So let's go on to what I am questioning. Not necessarily what I didn't like, but one of the things I noticed was, so the drummer, the new drummer, his name slipped my mind. I'm going to assume that Mick Jagger did the drums because there is no drummer credited on this right here. You look right there. It says Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger, vocals, guitar, percussion, harmonica. Keith Richards, guitar, vocals, bass, piano. Ronnie Wood, guitar, bass, rock, and vocals. Okay? There's no drummer credited. Why? Somebody out there may know. Let me know. I'm curious. I'm going to assume that maybe Mick Jagger played the drums during the recording of this album. It's very possible. They all multi-talented. All of them are I'm sure are experienced in playing some sort of drum, so or percussion. So if anybody knows why the new drummer's name is not on here, let me know. But I'm going with Mick Jagger probably did the drums while recording this. Yeah, very nice presentation there. Labels. Beautiful original labels. I love them. They look fantastic. They're beautiful. They're great. Okay? Who cares about labels? Who cares? I don't care. I just want to point out one thing that I like seeing, asking why the drummer is not credited. Maybe there's a reason. So these are beautiful. They have the Rolling Stones, you know, their tongue, their insignia, I guess you can say. But there's no name. There's no name. Why would you have a record label? It says Hackney Diamonds. That's fine. That's okay. But why wouldn't you have it say the Rolling Stones? I don't know. I'm curious. Why wouldn't you do that? I find that funny. You know what I mean? I would have just said, "Hey, where's the name? Let's put our name on the label." You know what I mean? Doesn't ruin it for me, but I'm curious. I don't think I've ever seen that. Maybe I haven't. I just haven't. I don't remember. But interesting that they don't have their name, the Rolling Stones. Interesting. Moving right along. Let's see what they got here. So yeah. So there's that. You know, there's nothing that ruined it. Nothing. I'm just kind of curious. So the all around album. The album all around was absolutely stunning. Like I said, I didn't go into this with any expectations. I didn't expect anything. I've bought albums in the past and I was disappointed. I expected something, and I was very distraught on some albums. I'm like, what in the world is this? Why? What in the world? One of the albums I was sadly disappointed with was I'm a huge Dixie Chicks fan, and when they put out their last album, I look at them as sellouts. I have everything from them from day one, before Natalie Maines, and I have their entire discography. And their last album was absolutely a pile of shit. They're sellouts. But anyway, let's get back to the Stones, because much better, okay? Rolling Stones. So, you know, listening to this, I didn't feel that they were trying. And I don't mean anything bad. What I mean is they represent themselves as the Rolling Stones. They aren't trying to fit in. They aren't trying to get what's that word I'm looking for? Their album is what it is. They're the Rolling Stones. Okay, they're not cocky. I didn't listen to it feeling like I was forced to listen to it. I feel like the music on the album as a whole was fantastic. There isn't a bad track. There are some some typical. It starts right out with your typical Rolling Stones sound. It's just great sounds. And then some slower ballads, and but the thing is, they weren't. I don't think they were trying to represent themselves as someone or something that they weren't. And it's just a great all around album, and it's comfortable listening to it. Again, I didn't feel like I had to listen to it. It seemed to be a nice flow of music. It was just a great album. Just great album all around. The tracks, I listened to it a couple times today. I listened to it the last few days. I will say that it starts out your Rolling Stone sound, with the song "Angry." I just have some notes here. I just want to make sure let's see here. It starts out with "Angry." Great, pounding song. Goes on to "Get Close," a slower song, "Depending on You." The third song, side A, the song's a little slower. "Bite My Head Off" is exactly what it sounds like. It's a hard Rolling Stones song. Mick Jagger is just, I don't know, they're all kicking ass. And there were some guests on here as well. I think there was Lady Gaga and one or two other people that I can't recall off the top of my head. But "Bite My Head Off" is a funny, it speeds things up a little bit. It's a really good song. Two of my favorite tracks. Dreamy Skies. What was it? Dreamy Skies was another great song. I had that noted as one of my favorite songs. But Bite My Head Off and Dreamy Skies are probably some of my favorite songs here. But again, nothing bad. Just some of my favorite songs. Side B starts with a killer song. Mess It Up. You know what I mean? Mess It Up. And just the flow. Live by the Sword. Driving Me Too Hard. Tell Me Straight. Sweet Sounds of Heaven. Rolling Stones Blues. The flow, all the tracks, they seem really well placed. And I'll give you an example of a bad album, but just as comparison. But it seemed to flow very nice. You know what I mean? Now Rolling Stone Blues. That's a very short song, probably the shortest song on the album. But Rolling Stone Blues, from what I call, that's where they got their song. That's where they got their name. Was that song, the Rolling Stones Blues? I can't recall who originally wrote it. I did know, I can't remember. But the Rolling Stone Blues, great song. It's not a very long song. Like I said, it's probably the shortest song on the entire album. But for a band that, I mean, how old are they? Like, I mean, they must be taking testosterone. They must be taking something to have an album like this. I mean, they're in their fucking 80s, right? You don't expect that. You know what I mean? That's, I think, one of the great things is if you have not heard this album, okay, you don't know what you're missing. I recommend this album whether you buy it streaming or CD or vinyl. I recommend this. I think this is a fabulous presentation of an album. It's everything a collector wants. You know, it's a gatefold. You have your inner sleeve. Comes with a great inner sleeve for your record. It's just a great presentation all around. You know what I mean? And for a band that's been around as long as they have, I think they're on top of the game right now. You know, and I know they say they're going to be on their last tour or they're going to be quitting soon. They're not going anywhere. Not with an album like this. You may agree or disagree. That's okay. You can disagree or agree. You can disagree all you want. I think it's a wonderful album. And I'm actually going to go ahead and put it on one or two more times before I go out and do the plans I have planned for tonight. But if you have not heard the Rolling Stones Hackney Diamonds, absolutely recommend it. And I would like your feedback. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you not like it? I'm curious to know. This is a great album. Again, I'm doing this. I haven't watched anybody's reviews. I haven't read anybody's reviews. I haven't watched any videos. Going in this solid. And if you're watching this is an album I recommend. Okay? This is an album I recommend. Now I'm going to go off on a tangent for a second because I can. So, we talk about albums that kind of disappointed us. I want to go just be negative for a second. So as a lot of albums are, they're great. They're greatly done. They're just fabulous. They sound great. And there are some albums that just didn't make it. There were some albums that just didn't do it. How do I go from the Rolling Stones to Metallica? This album here, dude. What the fuck happened? Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Yeah. Dude, I actually did an album review on my previous channel. Oh my god. This is an example of when a band tries too hard. This is when, a complete opposite of the Rolling Stones Hackney Diamonds. I don't know, this is sacrilege right now, fucking doing this, but listen guys, I'm telling you this right now. Solid album. Great presentation. They didn't have to please anybody. But they did. Now, this is an example of when a band tries really hard. Okay? Comparison? Why not? Because this is my channel and I can. You can stop watching anytime you want to. Okay? Real quick. I'm not doing a review, but let me tell you real quick. All in all, this album was 1 to 5. It was a 2. And I'll tell you, it was probably a 1. But I'll tell you what happened. If they had taken all the filler shit songs off this album, and put on the worthy songs on one album, and had it as a gatefold, and one vinyl, or one vinyl. Can't believe I just said one vinyl. That's sacrilege. One album, okay, one album. It would have been a great all around. It would have been a great album, but they tried too hard and they failed. Rolling Stones, Hackney Diamonds. Get it. I'd like to hear your feedback. I recommend the LP, but if you can't afford it and you want to get the CD, that's absolutely fine too. I want to hear your feedback. I want to know what you thought of it, and do a video or just respond right here in the comments. Alrighty? All right, come here. You know, she's getting hungry, so we are gonna go have dinner. Okay. We're gonna do dinner. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ! Come here. Give me a kiss. Okay. You want to go dinner? You want dinner? Are you hungry? You want dinner? Okay. Say hi. Say hi. Look it. Say hi.